Another video with me, Manil, here on Unacademy's YouTube channel for IELTS. And as always, I am here with a lesson that is aimed to help you perform better on the test itself, right? So in my previous video that I streamed just a while back on YouTube here, I discussed what is the IELTS test and what are the formats and who needs to appear for what. Today in this video, we are going to discuss what should be your timelines. Like, in terms of timelines, I mean, how much time should you give yourself to prepare for the IELTS test, right? Just before that, I would very quickly like to tell you that I am an Unacademy Plus educator on the app, and that means that I offer structured courses for you to prepare for your IELTS test. Before we go any further, I want to very quickly remind you what IELTS is, right? Many write it this way, many write it this way. At the end of the day, it stands for International English Language Testing System. That's what IELTS stands for. All right? IELTS. So IELTS is what is IELTS? It is a test of your ability to communicate in English. As simple as that. That is all that IELTS does, all right? It does not test your knowledge in terms of other subjects, as in, how knowledgeable are you at science or English or maths or physics, or history or geography. None of that. That is not what IELTS is looking to do. IELTS has been designed to check that if there is a question asked in English, whatever be the answer, right? Whether you know the answer, you do not know the answer, can you convey what you wish to say for that question, what you want to say in English? Okay. Now, basis how well you respond, you get a score on a band scale from 0 to 9, right? 0 being you did not appear, but 9 means that you are an expert when it comes to answering questions in English. Expert as in, again, not your knowledge. You may be factually absolutely incorrect, but the way you conveyed your answer in terms of your language, it was impeccable. That is what a band 9 means. That being said, of course, it makes sense, right? Like being logical. Logic again here does not mean that, but I already know that the earth rotates around the sun. But then why did this person say that, no, the sun rotates around the earth? Doesn't matter. As long as the English was correct and what this person said painted a certain picture for the examiner, the answer is correct. Okay? That a picture that the examiner was able to understand, right? Create in their own head. That's something that we discuss in detail on Unacademy Plus. What do I mean by logic? Not in terms of scientific logic, but in terms of language logic. That's something that I discuss in my course on Unacademy Plus. So that is something that you should consider joining. But anyways, in terms of timelines, I'm going to discuss two different timelines. One for those who are weak, who are not necessarily just weak, people who are average or below at English, and one for those who are above average and higher. All right, so those are the two timelines that I'm going to discuss in this video. Now, for those of you who are average or below, I recommend that you give yourself anywhere between 3 months and 6 months. Okay, depending on how weak or how average you are at the language. For those of you who are above average and higher, I say anywhere between 1 week and 1 month. All right, that is where I put it. Now, I know there is nothing between 1 month and 3 months, but I'll come to that. All right. So now let's discuss this one first. Why do I say 3 months to 6 months? See, if you're average at English, you can try a million things. Like, I've seen a lot of students go like, sir, please tell me an easy way to learn English. Okay, please tell me an easy way to learn English. There is no easy way to learn English. How do you learn English? You first learn the rules and then you practice using those rules, right? So it takes a while. So it'll take you at least, let's say, a month to learn the rules, and then it'll probably take you another month to become comfortable in terms of using those, create and coming up with answers which are correct right from the beginning all the way to the end. Okay, so all of this would take you a minimum of 2 months, a minimum of 2 months. And now this is, I'm talking about somebody who is average. I'm not talking about somebody who's weak. I'm talking about somebody who's average at English. So you have to give yourself minimum 3 months, because once you're comfortable using the language, say about 2 months time, you then need another month to prepare for the test itself. But let's say you're somebody who's weak at English. You will take at least 2 to 2.5 months to learn your grammar rules. Okay. And then you'll probably need another 3 months to get comfortable when it comes to using those rules to, plan your answer, to understand what's been written, to understand what's being said. So you'll need at least 5 months to improve your English. Okay, bring your English to that point where you can score a minimum of band 6.5 overall on the IELTS test. Now, if you're somebody who's trying to appear for the general training test, and if you're weak at English, I'd say you should give yourself even longer, probably 7 to 7.5, maybe even 8 months. Okay. But then again, of course, depending on the kind of teacher you go to, kind of classes you take, this can change, right? Most people end up in group classes where they do not get individual attention. So I would say if you are going for group classes and then you're preparing for the IELTS test and you are weak, give yourself probably more than 6 months. But in those 6 months, don't just sit there, just practicing the same thing over and over every day. Make sure that every day you're improving and that you're trying new things and you're learning new things, right? Again, don't try to just memorize things. Try and understand how to use English. So this is what I'd say. So to break it down, let's say if you're average, for somebody who's average, 3 months of prep, where 2 months are devoted to improving English, okay? And then there is 1 month of test prep. All right. Now, if you're somebody who's weak, then you need at least 6 months, where 5 months are devoted to improving English, and then you spend 1 month towards test prep. See, guys, the biggest mistake that everyone I see making when it comes to test preparation is day one they'll open up IELTS, the mock test or reading practice or listening practice, and then they'll start attempting those questions, right? See, that is, you will never improve your English by doing so, because that is already at a level which is higher than where you stand. तो जब आपको बात ही नहीं समझ में आएगी तो आप improve कैसे करोगे? So what you need to do is you need to start with the basics. Okay, you need to start with the basics, and then over a period of time improve and come up to that point where you can start understanding everything that's said on that test. Okay, so those first 5 months, or in case of an average student, first 2 months, don't even worry about opening an IELTS book. Just improve your English. Just improve your English. I mean, of course, you have a look at the IELTS test, and that's another thing. But don't practice from an IELTS test book. All right. Improve your English. Improve your English. Improve your English. And then once you find yourself in that position where whatever the other person is saying, and again, please stop obsessing about vocabulary. Oh, मुझे word नहीं समझ में आया, I'm not ready for the IELTS test. Nonsense. All right. Get that out of your head. IELTS test is not about learning big words. It's about learning a lot more grammar, and it's about making sense and understanding what the other person is saying. All right. So those 2 months and 5 months, spend a lot of time improving your English. How do you do so? There are a million ways, right? Get training, join an academy, read books, watch movies, probably pick up, download apps that help you. Or the best thing is join me on Unacademy Plus, right, where I have a grammar course that helps you improve your English. Okay, so those are the things that I recommend for people who are above, who are average or below when it comes to English to prepare for the time for the IELTS test. You should open the IELTS book for practice only in the last month of your test prep. Okay. Now, coming to people who are above average or higher on the IELTS on when it comes to English, how long should they spend preparing for the test? Now, if you're somebody who's, let's say, above average, okay, so an above average person will find it very easy to score overall band 6.5 on the IELTS test with a minimum of band 6 on all four. All right. So all you need to do is probably, go through the preparation for a month when you pick up your books and you practice every day. You get a hang of everything. You identify where is it that you're weak, and then you prepare for the test over the month, right? So if you're, let's say, above average, you give yourself 1 month, 1 month of practice. That's it. All right. And along that, whatever improvement you can make in English, right? That is always handy. Okay. And then for those of you who are, let's say, good, I would say you give yourself at least 2 weeks, right? Why? Because those who are good but are targeting something like 8777 or higher may probably want to just practice a little more, right? Before they go for the test. But if you're somebody who has been great at English all your life, right? You've been taught in an English medium school. You work in a job where you're using English on a daily basis. But hey, you know what? Don't decide for yourself whether you are good at English or not. Take a test. Take a test somewhere. How do you do so? Give a mock test. Give an IELTS mock test. See what are you scoring. All right. That is the best way to identify. Shashank, I just saw your message. Give me a second. I'll circle back to that. All right. So was that yeah, how to assess whether you're good at English or not. So if you're scoring, let's say, a band 9 on listening and reading, you're already excellent, right? If you're very confident with with the question that was given, even then, I would say for somebody who's an expert, who's excellent at English, you should still give yourself 1 week and make sure you are getting correct guidance on how to approach the writing and the speaking sections. Just make sure you get proper guidance on these two, because otherwise you may end up messing up. Because a lot of people, despite being absolutely brilliant at English, they don't know how to write an essay, and which is where so it's all about learning the format. So make sure you get clarification and you get complete guidance on that before you appear for the test itself. Now, coming to your question, Shashank, I don't know why would that be happening. I mean, I can't just simply say, oh, this is the reason. Honestly, somebody needs to assess what you're doing, right? I'll tell you what, one way is, I mean, I see band 6.5 overall. Okay, I have been practicing from 3 months in reading section. I'm decreasing my score day by day. What can be the reason? Please suggest. I have got 6.5 band. You're already in general module. I wouldn't know, Shashank. So 6.5 was this reading or 6.5 was overall? Okay. So okay, that shows that. And what about the other modules? What were your scores on the other modules? Okay. Okay. So Shashank, considering that you scored 7.5 on listening and 6.5, so 6.5 on reading is actually not great in terms of general module, general training, right? 7 is usually ideal, but so you need to get 35 correct, right? You probably got 33 correct. So you're not far off. You just need 2 more answers, but probably you are not following the correct strategies is what I'd say, all right? Because considering that you scored 6.5 on writing and 6.5 in speaking, so you're sort of 0.5 off your band, and I'm assuming you want to go to Canada, so it's 8777. So you're just 0.5 of your desired score, right? So probably you need guidance. I don't know what you're doing. Probably you are already studying at some academy or you've subscribed somewhere. I wouldn't know. what I can recommend is you could come study with me, okay? And are you preparing with somebody at the moment? Okay. So see, Shashank, this happens. We end up at a lot of academies which truly do not know what to do for the IELTS test. The tutors have themselves either not taken the test, or they have a lot of myths and misunderstandings in their own heads, which they push onto the student, right? And that ends up making things a little more difficult for the student. Or alternately, it could also be that you probably lack in certain areas when it comes to the language itself, right? So see, the best I can recommend is, I mean, look, I can't just tell you, oh, do this, do that, do this, do that. I don't want to mislead you, right? But one way to prepare for your test is you could probably join me on Unacademy Plus, okay? So I don't know if you've downloaded the Unacademy app yet or not. You should definitely do so, because there is a lot of free content on the app itself that you can, probably go through. But I definitely recommend taking Unacademy Plus subscription. Why? Because over there, I mean, I'm only speaking for myself, all right? See, I have two courses. One is the grammar course, right, which probably might not help you as much. But then I also have this IELTS course, which is a 3 weeks course, right? And it's a Monday to Friday course. My classes are scheduled for 7 p.m. to 8 p.m. In this, I cover all four modules, all right? And I'll clear all your doubts. I'll teach you the correct methods when it comes to approaching each of the four modules. So see, I've appeared for the test myself. I am a band 8.5 overall on both academic and general training, with 9.9 on listening and reading, 8 on speaking, and 7.5 on writing on both. All right, so I had identical scores on both the tests, which is a little surprising, but hey, yeah, I did it, right? So I know what you need to do, so I can guide you on exactly how to approach the test. And I'm sure you're trying for Canada, considering general training. So I'm sure you don't want to take two more attempts. You probably want to get this done in the next attempt itself. So consider joining me on Unacademy Plus, right? It's not expensive at all. It's 2,700 rupees for a month. So that's very affordable. And if you use my code, which is IELTS by Manil, right? It's all one word. This is all one word. You get a 10% discount, all right? So that makes this even more affordable at 2,430 bucks for a month. And trust me, I'll give you some good guidance, and I'll make sure that I identify where is it that you're going wrong, probably, and then fix that for you. Okay. So download the app. Download the app. Like I said, on the app itself, you can attend about 5 to 7 classes with me a month for free, right? So attend those as well. And from there, I can probably guide you how to get to Unacademy Plus, right? So that would be a great way to go about it. So hopefully I'll see you on, so this coming week, this Saturday again, I'll have a class on a free class for you to attend. So why don't you come join me for that class? And yeah, that I think should be a great place to start. So guys, this is what I had to share today in terms of timelines, and also I shared about the Unacademy Plus program. For those of you who are weak at English, the grammar course again is a 3 weeks course, which is again a Monday to Friday course, and the classes are from 5:45 to 6:45 p.m. Right? And if you're weak, I recommend that you appear for this. You take this course twice, so that your grammar, all the rules are clear in your head. So for somebody who's weak, I recommend a 3 month subscription, and that is 6,600 bucks. But again, if you use my code IELTS by Manil, you get the 10% discount, right? And it ends up costing you only 6,000 bucks. So I don't think it gets any more affordable than that. And good guidance also. Once you subscribe to Unacademy Plus, you can attend all all the lessons that are conducted by every educator for IELTS on the platform within the Unacademy Plus platform, right? So guys, thank you for joining me for this video here, for this live stream. Hopefully I'll see all of you on the app itself. Until then, keep practicing, and remember, for IELTS, keep it simple and stick to the basics. Goodbye.